And welcome back to Mixed Media Live. We're live streaming on Rumble, YouTube, and Twitch, and we're happy to be here on a Monday at 9:30. Now, I was going to say I finally got a chance to change all the times so they reflect our new time, Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But in this new layout here, where we obviously have much more people on, I had to nix the live whiteboard for a second, just so I could make room for the more people. So unfortunately, you can't actually see the new times up on the screen, but it's everywhere else. First of all, if you're new here, Mixed Media is a weekly show. We talk about everything basically art related. We each have our individual fields. We bring on guests like we do today. We talk about everything from art business to reviewing things, breaking down things, looking at amateur works, and we love hot takes as well. And we have our friend Ben. Oh, wrong direction. There's Ben, the absent place right there.
Ben has pointed out in chat that we have the wrong image up. We have the Oscars image up.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, well, that's embarrassing. I thought I had a relatively smooth start. Which might be in the minority of starts. But I'll fix that up in a second. But that's a great advertisement for our last show. Yeah, so today is going to be the same. We're going to have a bunch of hot takes and interviews, and I'll be talking about black and white film, and it's going to be a fun time. With that, I guess we'll introduce ourselves. So my name is Irving Nestor. I'm a filmmaker and media entrepreneur. I own a company called Ariella. How about you, Nathan? Oh, wrong way again.
I'm Nathan Nestor. I'm a game developer and 3D modeler. Hopefully my video isn't too choppy. For some reason, it shows up really bad frame rate on my end. I'm not really sure what's up with that. It's usually not this bad. And I brought along two guests today. So introduce yourselves.
All right, yeah, I am Alden Irazo, and I'm actually still a high school student at the moment, but I am just about to enter college here, and I am the founder and owner of CatholicGameReviews.com. Been working on it hard for about the last 2 years, and then we got Colin here, who's one of my subjects. He can introduce himself real quick.
Yes, hello. My name is Colin Stone, also have the pseudonym Peace Ribbon. I am a writer for Catholic Game Reviews, and I am also a senior in college finishing up his degree in philosophy. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Yeah, so how's your guys' weeks been? Anything interesting that's been going on? For me, it's been pretty busy. I don't know what happened. School decided that everything was going to be due around the same time. Earlier today, I just did a presentation on Southeast Asia. So sorry if I get tired of speaking. I've been speaking for quite a bit today. Yeah, nothing else has really been going on.
Yeah, so I just got back from New York City myself. Actually, I think we were there. Like 2 or 3 days, walking pretty much the entire day. Going in dirty subways with just a lot of weird things going on. So still recovering from that. I am a bit tired, but I think we'll pull through.
What were you? Where were you in New York City?
So we were with my cousins who live in Brooklyn. And then we did take a trip to Manhattan, and I think we're at Staten Island for a short bit. Kind of just walking around, seeing the city. We saw Wicked. So yeah, it was my first time seeing Broadway, so that was pretty neat. And of course, going to Times Square, seeing everyone dressed up as Elmo, and yeah, Batman holding a wad of cash. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, for you, those of you who don't know, I'm actually currently in New York City. I'm in the Bronx right now. So you were well, I was going to say you were not too far recently, but everything's far in New York City. It takes forever to get anywhere. So
oh my gosh, yeah.
You might have been only like a mile away from me at any given point, or, well, maybe that's an exaggeration. We're within 3 miles away from me at any given point, but it would have taken me 30 minutes to get to where you are. So that's how things work over here. Where are you? Was it a far trip? Where are you from originally?
So I'm from Northern Virginia. So I want to say it's like, I don't know, maybe about like a 4-hour drive. Not too bad. Getting out of the city is kind of tough, of course, but like after that, yeah, it's nothing too crazy.
Yeah, as for myself, mostly just spent the last week or so on campus, going to my classes, getting back into the swing of things after our short spring break, which is funny because Easter break is coming up, so things are going to get thrown off again. But yeah, I spent a good chunk of this week sick, actually. I'm so thankful that I freshened up enough that I can go on and talk on a show like this. Yeah, very simple. I like to keep it simple in my life. Don't need too many crazy things going on at once.
Yeah, I feel that.
I feel that. Yeah, for sure. Cool. So we'll have these guests on. The first segment will be us interviewing them, us talking to them about their website and a whole bunch of other stuff. But first, we've got to talk about the news of the week. So, Nathan, do you have any? Yeah, I think starting with gaming is appropriate. Do you have any news?
Yeah, because like I was so swamped this weekend. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on right now this past week in gaming news. Well, I did find out, which I don't know if it's new. Is news to me though, so I'll consider it new. So you can use the Godot engine on your phone. That was beautiful to me. You can develop games on your phone. I didn't know it was a thing. Only on Android though. It's not a thing on iOS yet.
Of course.
It's also in beta. I've heard that it works pretty well, except that it crashes a lot on saving when you save something. But other than that, I guess it's fine. Which, maybe is a lot less useful for Android phones because the screen's small and I can't, already on a laptop, when I use my laptop, I hate developing on my laptop because it's just like, there's so much information I'd like to see at one time, but I can't because the laptop screen's not that big. Whereas on my desktop, much bigger screen, I can have multiple windows, scattered around. It's not a big deal. So I can't imagine developing on a phone, on like a phone-sized screen. But there are Android tablets though, which I can see that being a lot more useful. And some people use like Android tablets as like daily drivers as their like main computer, and that sort of gives you access to a whole world of development. Do I think it's like that useful? I mean, not really, but certainly it's cool. And I'm sure some people are going to find some great use out of it. And sort of basically wonder, I know if you don't know, the Godot engine's editor, so the thing you use to make games with Godot, the editor itself is a quote unquote game that runs off of the Godot engine itself. So all the UI and stuff like that was created with the Godot engine and used the editor to create new Godot games, if that makes any sense. And given that Godot can export to web, it made me wonder what is the likelihood that we see like Godot editor within the browser entirely to offload any sort of resource intensive tasks and stuff like that. I think it's unlikely, but I think it's an interesting thought. But that's my quote unquote news. I don't know if that's new at all.
You guys notice anything in gaming?
Yeah, so I think just yesterday, actually, a Kirby song won Best Rendition. I think it was Meta Knight's Revenge, and it was a rendition. I believe it was like the 8-bit Big Band, I think is what they're called.
What award show or award thing are we referring to?
I forget. It's called the Grammys, right? I never watch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I knew that was happened recently. But I was kind of in shock.
Yeah. I think it's because either the Grammys or the Oscars got moved because of COVID. So that's why they were so close to each other. People weren't really aware of it. But yeah, it was going on yesterday, and it was trending on Twitter. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, especially with the new game coming out, that a video game song, right? Like, yeah, it's getting recognized on quite a big scale. I went and gave it a listen. It was a very good track. I think we got Ben coming back here.
Oh yes.
Oh sweet. Let me pull Ben in. In the meantime, Colin, you notice anything interesting?
Can't say that I have. I just am kind of a hermit like that. I have a tendency to focus on what's right in front of me and not worry so much about what's going on everywhere else, even if it is for something like gaming. I mean, I gotta make sure I'm on top of the stuff I'm playing so that I can review it for Alden over there.
Yeah.
So, I like to stay focused like that.
While we're waiting for this, I'd like to give a bit of an advertisement for ourselves. Make sure you join our Discord channel. Make sure you follow us on all relevant social medias. The link to that kind of stuff is usually on the side, but as was mentioned earlier, that got cut off due to the larger amount of people we have in normal. Where can you find this? You can find this at mixedmediapodcast.com. I think that's our link. Is that our link? I don't even remember.
Yes, that is our link. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, mixedmediapodcast.com. That'll have a link to anything you could want to see it on, Rumble, Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, Instagram, Discord. I think that's it. Oh, and locals, where you can support us. Yeah, that's it.
Grift complete. I'm going to talk about my news. I've actually got a good bit of news. At least we can see them, which is awesome. So a few interesting things. Something that broke the internet. I don't know if it came out Sunday or today or not. I saw it today. Was Elon Musk became the majority shareholder in Twitter, which is kind of insane. One of the biggest pieces of news for a while now in the media space. He now owns 9.8% of Twitter, according to his filing, which makes him the majority shareholder, which in the constitution of Twitter, as far as I understand, makes his interests of priority contractually. So, which is interesting because he's been talking about free speech platforms, et cetera, for a while now. So, yeah, we'll see what happens to Twitter. I'm still staying as far as for Twitter as I possibly can outside of work. Yeah, so that's the interesting news with Elon Musk. Another social media piece of news, which could quite possibly materialize to be 100 times more important in terms of ultimate impact, is a gigantic class action lawsuit against Facebook. And what happened recently was a judge authorized the class for this lawsuit, and the class, which is the group of people whose interests are being represented in this lawsuit, is every single person who purchased any ad on the platform after 2014, which, as you can imagine, is quite a lot of people. And also, you can imagine, those damages are extremely high. Potential damages, of course.
What are the damages? Like, what is the issue? What happened?
Yes, so I'll explain. So the lawsuit is that Facebook knowingly lied about the reach and impact of their ads. So if you have experience with social media marketing, which I do, you know that when you go and purchase an ad, it says, expected reach, and it gives you a range between some lower bound, some upper bound, and then it gives you some average for expected engagement. And so oftentimes you plan these ad campaigns around how much money do you have to spend in order to get engagement within some range of tolerance, right? And the problem, though, is that these metrics didn't just miss the mark a little bit. The allegation is that they missed the mark by 400% on average. 400%.
It's pretty bad.
Which is kind of crazy, kind of unbelievable. But that is the allegation, and apparently the very expensive, very large law firm that is taking up this suit has done a lot of the research to come up with that figure. Of course, when you see the complaint, right, you're only seeing one side of the story, so we'll see what Facebook's defense could possibly be. Although, out of all the lawsuits, I read a lot of lawsuits, if you didn't know that. It's kind of how I process current events, because I find that to be the most accurate and helpful way to do it a lot of times. And so, most lawsuits I've seen against Facebook have either a poor basis or a basis I agree with, but I know the court is not likely to agree with. In this case, we actually have a basis the court might actually agree with, and that might have evidence behind it. And if that were the case, we're talking about basically all the revenue since 2014. Basically, if you want, you can go back and check out the episode that I did on the metaverse, I think a few weeks ago. I think it's a pretty great episode. But if you go check that out, you'll see me talk about Facebook's business model for a good bit of that episode. And you'll know that almost all of their revenue comes from ads. So if we're talking like something like 80-90% of the revenue for the past 8 years, it would actually just bankrupt the company. So this is the first legitimate, interesting lawsuit that might actually take the company down from its damages. This is hundreds of billions of dollars in damages, given the judge's class description.
In chat, someone said, if I buy a $2 ad right now, am I entitled for compensation?
I don't actually know the answer to that question. Maybe you should talk to a lawyer. maybe I
start buying ads real quick.
I'm pretty sure I personally bought an ad since 2014, so I think I'm part of the class. I'm not 100% sure. Go ahead.
I have a question of my own. Does this apply just for Facebook or for all the platforms Meta owns? Like, does Instagram fall under this as well? Are you aware of that?
I think, as far as I know, and again, not legal advice in any way, shape, or form, but I think Facebook and Instagram are the platforms in which the research has been done on, is my understanding. So those two platforms. So we'll see about the other ones as well. But it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
yeah. Because I'm not sure if Colin is aware of this, but we have bought ads on Instagram before. So maybe there will be some money being sent our way. I don't know.
Well, not to destroy your hope, but in the metaverse episode, I talked about how the average dollar quantity that Facebook makes off of on a per user basis is extremely low.
Yeah.
And so the problem is that, you're probably not going to get more than what you put in. In fact, you're probably going to get like half of whatever you put in, I'm sure, because the settle or whatever agreement is going to pay out the lawyers first, unless you sued them separately, which is, up to you if you want to get a lawyer and sue them separately. I think that would be a couple
$10 grand. I don't know.
Exactly. There we go. How's it going, Ben? You want to introduce yourself and give any interesting news?
Yeah, I'm Ben Costello. I'm a flute player and a media composer. Obviously, the big music news, I think, right now is, I guess yesterday was the Grammy Awards, pushed back a couple months. It's really generally not my kind of stuff. I just scrolled through it. Obviously, I think the big winner, John Baptiste, who won 4 awards, and I think he had 11 nominations, which I guess he won for Best Album, Best American Roots Performance, Best American Roots Song, and Best Score Soundtrack for Visual Media for last year's Soul, which won the Oscar last year. I don't know, I guess just because of the fact it was pushed back so far. I don't know exactly how that works. It seems like it came out a while ago, right? Like December 2020, I think. Yeah, he's kind of the musician of the moment in the era, I suppose, even if he's not the kind of person that people talk about, like in a general sense. I don't know, musicians like him. And someone named Olivia Rodrigo was Best New Artist and Best Pop Solo. I don't know who she is because I don't pay any attention to pop music, but that also made some news. So yeah, that's kind of the big stuff right now.
All right. I suppose it's time to jump into the segment with our guests. Oh, I'll say for the end of this, if you're listening to this in post, this is likely the end of the segment. And so if you want to check out all the topics we're going to be talking about later, you got to go to mixedmediapodcast.com, where you can find all the podcasting platforms that we're on, all the video platforms that we're on, and absolutely join the Discord. All right. Let me set up the next segment.
Look, tell a man no trouble. I don't want beef, man. I just want vibes. Big man like me, no need for the telephone hype. I got too much getting online. One rule, then dead I'm on site. Wrong move, I bet they gon' ride. No need for the telephone hype, nah. No need for the snoozing. Big whip outside, I'm cruising. Big stick inside, no losing. Better watch out for the snake and Judas. Don't ask them who this is. I bet they know what I'm moving in. I bet I show it into a dim. How you hate and then lose again? How you hating my vibes? Why you wasting my time? Getting hype on my line. Tell a man I don't want feedback, I just want relax. Brand new whip, two-tone, I need that brand new hit. You know, like lean back, brand new bits I live in. We pack, man, you never gonna like us. Get them on sight now, let them on light. That way they know I'm more righteous. Look at my life, I'm living alright. I'm nice, you know I'm alright. Cause looking like Christ, no need for the hype or fight or telephone vipers. No need for the telephone vipers.